In this video, I'm going to walk through my exact SEO audit process for self-storage facilities. So if you stay to the end of the video, you'll get a complete breakdown of how to audit either one of your existing storage locations or a future location that you're thinking about acquiring, or just doing an audit to understand the competition level in a new market you might be developing or building in. So this will be my exact process that I use to understand the competitive landscape, but also understand, more importantly, what specifically do we need to do to improve our SEO? So we'll start by finding a random market that we can pick a facility in to do this analysis on. So in this keyword tool, if I type storage units in, it's going to give me a list of kind of some different data. I want to choose one that I'm going to go towards the end here. So we choose, let's do minimum 10. We're going to do something like where we do a smaller market here. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to pick a random page and we'll go with this one here. So let's do that. Okay, this looks to be a market in Texas. And right away we can see some of the competitors here. So first step is just searching the keyword on Google of the competitive landscape. So when we look at this market, we're getting, we see a review directory site. I see a facility. That's the first facility I'm seeing. Then we also see two different facilities in the maps. We have a REIT here in the maps. Let's see if they're actually located. And they are. So we have an Extra Space here. Is Extra Space ranking? We have CubeSmart. And then it looks like we have some smaller facility or operator here. So, okay, so for the analysis here, let's go with one of these ones that are ranking a bit lower. So let's check this one out. Let's check this one out. They're kind of towards the bottom of the first page. So we have a moving company here. Or no, they're not a moving company. They're just a storage facility called Right Move. Okay, cool. So we have this one. And let's see what this one is here. Okay, other one. So, all right, so we're gonna go with this one here and kind of start mapping out what they can do to improve. So if we look right away, so this one's currently ranking in position 8. So they're on the bottom of the first page for the main keywords. So if they could even move up a few spots here, that can have a big impact on how many clicks and rentals they're going to get. If we also look at the map listings, we could see the top 3 here, and let's take a look at where we are located. So if we look for Right Move, so you'll see now there's actually ads in here as well. So Extra Space and Public Storage are running ads in the maps, but let's see where we are. So here we are. So we're ranking really low in the map listings and towards the bottom of the first page in the organic listings. So what I like to do is use Bright Local tools. This helps you quickly gather some data that's going to be helpful for the analysis we're about to do. So I'm going to search for the location, and here it is, and we're going to use that. And I'm going to let some reports run while we're doing some other work in the background. So typically for a category, I always like to do self-storage facility. And there it is. So we have that selected. I'm not too concerned about the name, address, phone number information because we just want some data to pull for this audit. Obviously, we don't have any of these accounts because we're not working with this company, but we can still have some data pulled using this tool. So we're going to use this ad hoc method. And let's get the main things I want to set up are the local search. I can understand citation tracker I like, and I don't need Google Business Profile Audit. We're going to do that ourselves, but I do like to have the local search audit. You know what? Let's actually run both of them just so I can show the difference in the data. So let's click next. We're not going to do a citation builder campaign for this. We just want to collect some data for the audit here. And for keywords, what I'm going to do here is this one here, storage units there. And then I like to do two more. I like to do a broad keyword with no modifier. The modifier is going to be this part that comes at the end, and then a keyword with near me. So we kind of have three different styles of keywords here. That's enough for audit purposes, and you could add a lot more than just this. If there's certain types of storage that you offer, like RV, vehicle, boat, climate control, sometimes those are worth adding as well. But we just want to pull some data here. I like to switch this to miles and do 5 miles, and then do the bigger grid so we have a little more data in this. I'm going to paste in these exact same keywords into this tool. And this is going to allow us to collect that map data. And we're going to click next here. And that will look for citation for previous business details. Since we don't know, this would be if you change your name, address, or phone number, you could input what the old information was, and the tool will scan and try to find it. If we don't know any of that info, we're just going to do a general search. This will take a minute to run here, but while that's running, we can pull up. This is kind of our core process here to understand what do we actually need to do to move the needle and improve our SEO. So there's a series of checkpoints for the Google business profile that we'll cover. Citations, which we're going to look at, and that's what this is analyzing right now, is how many different directory profiles and citations this company has. Then we're going to do a deeper dive on reviews, backlinks, and then on-page optimization and content. These are kind of the core areas. And what I do is I mark each one as pass or fail, and we end up with a list of kind of the main tactics we're going to need to implement that we're not currently leveraging. So for Google Business, we'll start there. So if you had access to your actual Google Business, you'll want to go to your profile, so on Google, on the actual Google Business profile. But because we don't actually have access and we're just getting this one, I'm just going to click here and take a look at how they have some things set up. So some of the biggest things I look for is just complete information. So I can already tell they don't have question and answers. They don't have many reviews. They only have 10. If we look at all these other competitors, we're seeing 30, 300. Go to the top three. These are ads, but if we go down, I see 23, 169, 292, 613. So we're way behind on reviews. And when we're doing the review analysis portion, what I'm looking for is star rating, 4.7 or above. Quantity, how do we compare versus competitors? And these are more like nice to haves. Like keywords and reviews, you can't really game that too much. Just naturally, people should be using the word storage, and they should be typing in your city name into the reviews or types of storage that they purchased. Again, you can't control that too much. It's just something I check. We want to be replying to reviews, and really it's just these first two that are most critical. So I can already tell right away this one would pass the star rating, but we're significantly behind in quantity. So that's where we're going to need to focus. Now, let's see if the citations, perfect. So the citations have finished running. I'm going to click finish here so this data can keep coming through. But if we go back to the Google Business profile, other things I like to look at are the product and service feature in Google Business. Let's click on another one that's probably using it. If we go to Extra Space and go to their Google Business profile, what you'll see is they have products set up. So you can actually set these up for each unit type that you have available. And if this, for one, makes your business profile just look more built out and adds more content to it. But it also gives people the ability to click and actually go to the website. You can include pricing information. You can include promos here too if you have any 50% off or first month free, whatever you're running. So this is an important area that I like to see filled in. You can see they have some Q&A here. I like to have like common questions like what does a storage unit cost? How does the rental process work? Basically anything you think a customer might ask, you can have a Q&A built out. They're using the post feature as well, which if we go back to that previous example, that company was not using this. Again, you can see they have posts as recent as a couple weeks ago. Seems like they're doing about 1 post per month. I like to do anywhere from 1 to 4 posts per month. And again, these are pretty simple. You can put promos here. If you write any blog posts, you could highlight those. But really the main thing is just the activity level. Now, social media links as well. You can see how they have links to all their core social media profiles, and it's something we're not leveraging on our profile. So if we go back to this one here, and we look down, you'll see again, we're not using Q&As, we're not using the feature, we don't have social media profiles linked to this, and we're just overall kind of missing some of that information, and we don't have posts either. So those are just some of the basics that they could implement here and just really build out their profile more. Now they do have a good amount of images. I see 12 plus images. I still like to keep images coming and post them Anywhere from at least once per quarter, but sometimes even once per month, just keeping fresh images added to your profile, but at least once per quarter, so there's some activity. If you can add video here as well, that's something a lot of people don't take advantage of. That's another thing I would look to add. It could be a video tour of the facility. And it doesn't have to be high production. You could shoot that on your iPhone, just walking around the facility, showing different things. So that's something I would look to do here with this company. So go to, let's just click on another one. So we looked at Extra Space. Let's go on this one here. They have a lot of reviews. Let's see. So you see, look, they have 11 Q&As here that are all built out. So much more than even an Extra Space. 30 plus photos. So you could see way more photos, interior, exterior, different shots. Don't see video on this one. They have a nice aerial shot as well. Let's scroll down. And we can see, again, they only have one social profile for LinkedIn. I would probably build out some more and link those, but they are linking it at the very least. They don't have the product or service feature, so that's something they could add. But overall, those are kind of the core things I would look at here. Now, there's more points on our Google Business Audit here. Those are some of the biggest ones. Let's actually check the link here as well. I always like to make sure this is actually linking to the facility page, and it is. Sometimes people mistakenly link to their homepage there. Really want to link to your exact location page, which again, this is doing. So in this example, we would actually mark that as pass. Again, there's more little nuances and little details here, but those are kind of some of the core things. Let's look at our data in Bright Local now that these reports have finished running. So we have the local search grid here, and we have the local audit. Looks like it's running. The Google Business Profile Audit, it'll give you some quick information. You'll see just like a snapshot of some of your data. If you click on a keyword here, this is actually the report I like, where it gives the competitor analysis here. So in one view, you could see the top ranking map results, and then how you stack up for some of the key information here. So right away, I can tell we have not done much citation work, which again are those directory profiles. We only have 16, and we have none of the top citations. These are the most important ones. We have 0%, where if you look at the top, really the top ranking results, they're anywhere from 38% up to 51% of the top citation sources. And quantity-wise, they're way ahead of where we are. So we can already tell a lot of work to do on the citation front. Review, same thing. There is these guys that are in the top 3 actually with a low star rating and a low review count. We're already on par with them. I'd still like to see us increase and get at least to this level, but that is interesting when you see that. This facility maybe has been around a while. It's also an exact match name, which can help a little bit in the short term. They also have way more citations, so that's kind of, you could start to see the breakdown there. So those are like some of the main things I would look at in this report. From a category standpoint, I always like to have self-storage facility as the primary category and then storage facility as secondary. But you can see sometimes it doesn't really matter. These guys have storage facility as the main one, and they're still ranking. So it's something to look at. We could also the near me result and then the broader just storage unit result and kind of analyze how we stack up with the competitors. But again, this gives you a quick snapshot of that. Now, I like to look at the local search grid as well, because what this is going to show me exactly where we're ranking on the maps. So when someone types in storage units in our city, if they're right on top of our facility, we rank in position 1, and then right here we're 3. You really want to be in the top 3. It doesn't always matter being number 1. It's nice if you can get to the number 1 spot, but as long as you're in the top 3, you're immediately visible when the search is happening. So if we go back to the search results here and pull this up and maps, you'll see the first 3 results are visible. And if you're 4 or below, you need to click more places to see and find your facility. So really critical to get into the top 3 as far out as you can. So there is some opportunity here where we're in like that 6 to 9 area. Over here, we're not ranking at all. So there is a lot of work to do here to really expand our footprint and get in front of customers as they get further away from our facility. So we're currently, I would guess that they're getting very little to no rentals from the Google Maps results because of how low they're ranking. This is also pretty cool. It also gives you a snapshot of the 10, and you can click on it and see their grid. So this seems to be the top map result. If you look at Extra Space, you'll see Extra Space is ranking okay, but they're missing out on a lot of area still. So it's not always the REITs that rank the best in these things. Location and proximity are important as well. But we can see right here, these guys are currently doing the best. And where they're winning against us is mostly reviews. If we actually look back at our facility, and citations, as we looked at in the prior example. A lot of work to do there, but that's kind of what I'm looking at, the map listings. And then this citation report will give you a quick snapshot of kind of which directory profiles and citations you have and which ones you don't. And then the nice thing about this is you get a list of directories that you can go and fill in your information and set up profiles on. So really important, and something that this facility can do and start to see their rankings increase from that. So citation area, again, what I'm looking at here are how are they doing in quantity? In this case, we have one of the lowest quantity. And how are we doing with the critical citations or the key citations? In this case, we're doing the worst out of the competitor set. There's a couple more things that I checked, but those are the two big ones. And two things they're not doing well. So we looked at reviews. Now, we didn't touch on link building a whole lot, but if we go back to this tool here, and you could also use a tool called SEMrush for this, and we look at the search results, what I like to look for is domain authority or domain rating. It's a score from 0 to 100, 100 being the best. The higher the number, the easier SEO gets for you, because Google is going to trust your website more. And you'll see like the REITs, like CubeSmart and Public Storage, they have typically above 60. Most of the REITs are above 70 even. Even the directory websites like Sparefoot and Rent Cafe and selfstorage.com, they're typically in the 80s to 90s. So you'll see they have a 90 authority. But what I like to see here is two of the top ranking results have a 1 and a 0, which means they haven't invested a ton, or really probably haven't invested anything almost, in building their domain authority and doing quality link building work. So that to me is an opportunity for us. We have a stronger domain, or even as it stands, and we're still ranking lower. So I would still look to improve this and get this number up, even though we are doing better than these top three. But when I see this, this means to me that there's no reason we can't surpass both of these facilities that are ranking above us. So what I would look at next is content and on-page optimization. So do we have the right content on the website, and are our pages as optimized as they could be? So some of the things I look for here are the title tag and the meta description. This is some of the most important pieces of on-page optimization. Page, it's actually in the browser tab here, but it does show up directly in search results here as essentially ad copy. Now, the mistake a lot of people make, if we pull up this facility as an example, even though they're ranking well, they're including their brand name in the title. They're also including a lot of words, so it's just way too long. Google a lot of times will ignore the brand name. If you look at here, they're completely ignoring the brand name, and they're actually just selecting their H1 probably. Let's see. No, it's not even their H1. Let's see, self-storage. Google is basically just rewriting it for them. The lack of optimization there. You'll see the brand name gets shown above the listing, and the logo gets shown now. So it's redundant to have the brand name in this title tag. It's also not going to help users click on your listing, even if they do show your brand name. You'll see the directories, and typically the REITs copy this as well. We'll all do this where it says from and a different dollar amount. I don't like doing that because you end up just blending in with everybody. When this was first done, it works when no one else is doing it, but then you run into this scenario where everyone's just copying it, and now what used to make you stand out now just makes you blend in. If you're in a market where no one's doing anything with this copy, this can still work, but I prefer to test different things at the end of your title tag. So the first thing you want to do is make sure we have this exact keyword at the front. So the way I would write this title tag would be similar to what they're doing here. It would be storage units in Tomball, and then either in parentheses or with one of these pipe bar symbols. So if we do storage units in Tomball, so I'm just typing it up here. Typically what I like to do, we'll go with parentheses for this one, is test a few different things. Things you can test here are promos, availability, urgency, convenience, features, and quality. So there's all different copy points that you can test in your market on what's going to resonate most with your potential buyers and tenants. What you want to think about is really getting clicks. So what is something you could put at the end of your tag that's going to make you stand out, but also get people to click on your listing? Sometimes it is simply price and promo. And in those cases, what I like to test are whatever your active promo is. So if we go to our example here, let's see if they're running any promos here. So 2 units left. So they have first month free. So that's an easy one to add in here. So if we were to do storage units in Tombow, and then it could be first month free. And in this case, this title tag saying storage units in Tombow first month's free, month free would show up right next to our listing, and it would really make us stand out. You could also do things like pulling in your star rating. So in the parentheses, you could say 5.0 star rating. You could also do things like urgency. If you have limited units left, you could let people know that. You could do this starting price. Again, I don't prefer that. I like to try a little bit different. But really honing in on this copy will go a long way towards optimizing click-through rate. Right now, brand new storage unit, it's not bad, but if we look at the actual title, again, they're wasting space here. So they actually don't even have their brand name in the tag. They're just not using all the space. They're only using 38 characters. You have about 60 to 65. So they can easily add in their promo at the back of this or do something more feature-based or about an amenity. You could do competitive rates at the end. You could do excellent customer service and test and see what actually gets you the most clicks. But that's something I would spend a lot of time on that many facilities will skip over and not really do the analysis. Now, what I like to see is they have this markup here. So their star rating is actually pulling in under their listing. And there's a couple of reasons for that, but one is they have the stars here and they have the number of their star rating. I usually also like to say how many review count they have. So I would do 5.0 based on 50 reviews or however many reviews. And then you could add a piece of code to your website that tells Google that this is a star rating. And it's not a guarantee that they're going to show you this star rating, but if you set that up properly, you can get this to appear. And it's another thing that can help you get more clicks when people see this. You can see this facility is not taking advantage of it. CubeSmart is doing it. They're not doing it. So again, we want to get any little edge we can get. And really all of the top three are not doing it. So I like that we already have that in place. I would focus heavily on improving this and making us stand out a little bit more and improving this copy here. If we look at the description copy, again, this isn't bad. I think this you could work with. I'd probably focus more on the title in this example, but you could potentially tweak this as well. Page itself, overall, there could be some other small changes you make, but I find the title tag has the biggest impact out of anything you can do. And just by testing that, we can often get more clicks and see our rankings improve. So now if this facility offered, and they do have climate control, let's see if they have any parking or vehicle storage. They have that larger unit here. So it seems like the main storage type they offer is climate control. What I would do is I would check if there's any search volume for climate control storage directly. And if there is, I would probably look to make a page for that. So let's take a look, and there is here. Let's see, climate control storage. And then let's go storage units. So let's look here. And this is how I determine if we need a separate page. So this is another mistake I see quite often is storage operators try and have one page and target all the different types of storage they offer. So they try to have one page and target storage units in Tombow, climate control storage, vehicle, RV, boats, all these different types of storage on one page. But often what we'll see, so if we look at the keyword storage units Tombow, and we look at the top 10 articles, and then we look at climate control storage, you could even just do this right in Google. You don't need this tool. Compare what actually is showing up. Right away, I can already see for this climate control keyword, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the top 6 have a specific climate control page that's optimized around climate control. I guess these guys don't. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the top 6. That's a good sign to me that if we have a specific climate control page, we're going to be able to optimize much better. So, and you'll see the ideal way to do it is as it's a part of your facility page. So you'll see Extra Space, CubeSmart, Public Storage. That's how they're doing it, and that's part of the reason they're in the top 4. And if we go back to this result, we have Public Storage, but it's not their climate control page. It's their general facility page. So that's the approach I. Sometimes you'll see you don't need 2 pages. If the search results are identical for both keywords, that's a sign you can have one page and rank for both. So I always check it on Google directly, and Google is telling us what they want to rank. And we can see here, we might not need it, but we're going to have a much higher percentage chance of ranking for climate control keywords if we have a dedicated page. Now, what you do on this page, typically just duplicate your facility and then just optimize everything around climate control. Ideally, you would pre-filter the units so it only shows the climate control ones. If you're not able to do that, that's okay. And you would gear all the copy on the page to be about climate control. If we look at public storage here, we can see, again, climate control storage units in Tomball. If we look at the title tag is optimized around climate control. You'll see public storage actually will tell you, basically show you all the different pages they have. They have a separate RV page, a separate vehicle, a business page, a boat page. They even have unit size pages. I think this is kind of overkill in my opinion, these unit ones. In big markets, sometimes people do actually search 10 by 10 storage units. So again, use the keyword data. If you see people are really searching at a high enough volume for these specific things, it could make sense to make a page. Focus on these. And then this is kind of interesting too. They also do, to go after the keyword cheap storage in city, they actually will make a page dedicated to that as well. And really that's what we're doing here. And again, you can have a little bit of copy that uses the climate control language that talks about the benefits of climate control. You could have FAQs. They don't have that here specific to climate control on this page. But really, you just need to duplicate your standard facility page and just have it all geared towards climate control. And a lot of people, the argument or the pushback I hear about this is, well, isn't that really just duplicate content? Other people will push back and say, isn't this kind of spammy, just generating all these pages? But when you think from a user standpoint, if someone types in climate control storage units in Tomball, Texas, what would be a better page? A page that's fully geared, all talking fully about climate control, or a general storage unit pages that talks about everything? So that's the lens I like to look at. What's actually better for a user? And it's much better for a user if they're typing in climate control to get a page that's fully about climate control. You don't want a user to have to navigate and find the information themselves. So when you think about it from that lens, it makes sense from a user standpoint. If it doesn't make sense from a user standpoint, that's when I'd be hesitant to implement something just for SEO sake. But this actually has a tangible benefit to users as they're able to go directly to a page that's about what they're searching for. If someone types RV storage, they don't want to go to a page about indoor general storage units. They want to go to a page that's fully showing them everything they need to know about RV storage and what available units they can book. So that's the lens I like to look. But again, I look at the results and that need a storage type page. Now, the mistake with storage type pages that I often see, having these general ones, these really do nothing unless you're only in one city and you have one location. If you have multiple locations, having a general storage page for like RV, boat, climate really does very little. Vehicle storage page. There's no way you could optimize this page around all these different cities they're located in. Google doesn't want to show this page when someone's in a specific city. Like, let's just go to this one here, because it's not relevant to that city. A user has to then figure out where they need to go and continue to navigate. That's why these general pages, they're fine to have on your website if you want to educate people on what this type of storage is about. That's how I would use these pages. But I wouldn't spend time thinking these are going to rank for SEO. The only exception to that is if you have one location, because then you could optimize each one of these around your city. So what I prefer to see is those storage type pages live off the back of your facility pages, similar to what Public, Extra Space, and some of the larger players are doing. So I know we went kind of long on that point, but it's something I see not get utilized as often as it should be, and can have a big impact on if you're actually able to rank for these different types of storage. So I always like to audit this for every location that I'm working on. So we didn't cover content creation too much. Now, for storage, creating blog content is probably one of the lower things on my priority list. But if you have the bandwidth and you have the resources, it's worth doing. The main benefit to it is it allows you to add more internal links to your facility page, which is often hard to do without blog content. There's two groupings I like for blog content. One is what I call industry content, which is just going to be storage content. So things like what can you fit in a 5x5 storage unit, or how much does storage cost in the city that you're located in. You could do those for every city and just break down all the factors that go into cost and price. And again, what can you fit in a different size storage units, that type of thing. Then I also like to do city-based content. So things like moving to the city you're in, living in the city you're in, different information about the city. Again, those may rank and drive some traffic. You're not going to get a ton of rentals, but the benefit is inside that content, you can now internally link back to your facility page, and you're kind of building up some topical relevance for the city. Again, low priority item, but if you're really trying to compete and get every edge you can get, I like to have it on my to-do list. And again, it's one of those things, if you have the bandwidth, you have the budget, do it. If you don't, do the other things first. And then once you get all the other things done, like your Google business profile, your citations, you're building up your reviews, you're doing link building, you've optimized your pages, then I would look at creating content for the website. So overall, like the biggest thing this facility needs to do is they need to clean up their quite a bit. So they need to fully fill out their Google business profile, products, services, Q&As, get more reviews, really do a lot more work there. They need to do a lot more citation work, building new ones, and also getting on the most critical ones. We covered reviews. They're actually doing okay with their domain authority. They're actually better than some of the top competitors. So I might deprioritize this. I still like to do link building because I look at it as an investment in my brand and domain. If you have plans of acquiring or building new facilities, link building work is going to help make it so that those facilities rank much faster when you put those online. So I like to do it as a future investment. If you're kind of happy with your portfolio or you have one location and you're not expanding, you could do the bare minimum for link building and get by. In this case, we're doing slightly better than some of the competitors, so I wouldn't make this my highest priority, but I still would look at it. The on-page optimization, and particularly running a test on those title tags and changing the copy to include promos or reviews or features and amenities, and testing what gets us the highest click-through rate. And then creating that climate control page to boost their climate control rankings. Those would be my top things that I would implement here. Again, there would still be a few more items from this audit that I would add to the roadmap. But just by doing those things, they would improve, in my opinion, relatively quick. Anywhere from, I've seen as soon as 1 month, the 1 to 3 month range is given where they're currently at the bottom of page 1 and kind of towards the bottom of the map listings, I think is realistic to start seeing movement. And then ultimately by month 6, you should really be fully ramped with your SEO. So that's pretty much it here. This template I do have as part of my newsletter. I've given this away through there. So if you want a copy of this and you want to run this for your own facility, either just leave a comment, let me know, or sign up directly for the newsletter, and I'll get you a copy of this.